talks about today.
Whether you want to hear it or not.
Yeah.
It's
so
going
shut
on
up
right
and
now.
Listen. But yeah, also, we're not really going to be engaging too much in the chats. Like, I can see if they pop up on here, but I probably won't be able to engage with them too much because we're going to be trying to cover a lot of really random, stupid, crazy stuff that's going on. So here we go. First things first, we've got UFC 244, which we did a live stream of, and if you guys were able to watch that, cool. If not, it's whatever. But dude, there was a lot of really crazy stuff that happened in the UFC.
It was a very, I mean, it was a good card. Like, overall, from prelims to main card.
Yeah,
it was a great card.
It's one of those that, like, on paper, I was so freaking stoked about every one of the fights. Like, it was completely stacked. You had Jorge, Diaz, freaking Gastelum, Till, Thompson, Luque, I guess, and then freaking Derek Lewis and Ivanov.
Yeah.
And it looked amazing. And even the freaking Johnny Walker was on the prelims.
Yeah, Corey Anderson fought Johnny Walker, yeah.
Yeah, so it looked freaking amazing on paper, but, like, a lot of the times with fighting and competition sports like that, you never know what's actually going to happen. And I feel like...
Yeah.
I feel like we were robbed of some fights on that card. Like, some of the fights, for me at least, I saw some early stoppages and then just kind of, like, pinnacled at the end of the headline with Jorge and Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Like, at the time, I guess, I was very skeptical of, like, the early stoppage on a lot of those fights. Like, I felt like the, let's see here, it wasn't Derek Lewis fight, was it? No? Those are decisions. There's some really weird calls, though, like, decision-wise. I mean, scoring.
Like, if people look at this and they see how they're, like, 3 of the fights on the main card were decisions, you'd think that they're terrible, but only one was terrible.
Yes, exactly. And which one would you say that was, Chris?
Darren.
Well, pow! This one right here.
The most boring fighter in the UFC currently.
Yes, he just backs up and then, like, pays off any judge. I don't know what happened, but Kevin Gastelum was putting forward pressure on the entire freaking fight. Yes. The whole fight, putting on forward pressure. And, like, I mean, I wouldn't say dominating the fight because it was kind of like he looked like he was kind of in reserve most of that fight. But
he just couldn't get to him because, one, Darren Till is really long. And, I mean, yes, he uses that to his advantage by being evasive and keeping you at arm's length. But he doesn't do anything to you. Yeah. While he's backing up, he's just backing up and avoiding damage.
Yeah, and then, I'm
pretty sure he's just a scared fighter.
Yeah. Especially now. Like, he got knocked out and he's just, like, not the same. Before that fight, before he fought Jorge Masvidal and he got dropped.
Yeah.
He fought Stephen Thompson. And he lost that fight in my book, too. But he was over in England and freaking, like, they obviously gave him the card. But it was just, I don't know, man. I feel like he's just been lobbed up a lot of victories. Like, they're trying to build him up as the next Conor.
And, like, you've seen what happens when he goes up against stiff competition.
Yeah.
Jorge Masvidal caved his face into his neck when he punched him. And it was glorious.
It was.
But, so Darren Till won that fight between him and Kevin Gastelum. But it was just, like, a win by default.
And
they had to pick a winner.
Yeah.
And they picked him, even though I don't even know if I would necessarily pick him. I would have probably went with Gastelum just because of the forward pressure and a couple of the takedowns that he got. That they said didn't count for
they didn't count him because he didn't do anything with him. But I've heard...
And
they counted it for Till.
And they counted it for Till, and he didn't do shit.
He didn't do anything. And, dude, too, like...
He caught his leg maybe once or twice, and then Darren Till caught Kelvin's leg once or twice. Yeah. And Kelvin fell and got back up.
Yeah.
And they counted that as a takedown. But Kelvin Gastelum's takedowns, where he grabbed him and put him on the ground, didn't count.
Didn't count, apparently.
It's fucking
I don't understand it. It was pretty dumb, dude. And then, but to, like, one of my things, and I think Joe Rogan's talked about this on his podcast a few times, they need to have more than 3 judges. First of all, who are these judges? Second of all, if you've just got 3 judges in there, there can be some stupid, like, some fuckery going on, okay? Yeah. Because, like, especially with that, dude, there was one judge that scored it 27-30 for Gastelum. Then the other one was split a little bit closer towards Darren Till, and then the other one was split 27-30 Darren Till. So it's like two judges couldn't have watched two completely different fights.
Right.
How does this happen?
I feel like they need to initiate a new system where they have either one or multiple anonymous judges.
Yes.
Because there's like 3 judges, and obviously they use the same judges for so many fights.
Well, at least for the New York athletic commissions or whatever,
and
they're
so
definitely using the same
these judges all know each other.
Yeah.
They're all friends. Mm-hmm. They all go to conferences together. Some of them probably travel together.
They're out having freaking Sunday cookouts.
Right.
Their daughters go to school together.
So whenever you're judging a fight and you know these other judges, sometimes you probably think about what they're going to say about the fight. And that is what is causing this corruption in the decision game.
I completely
Judges
agree.
that are like, oh, well, I'm pretty sure this judge is going to say that, so I'm going to mark this down like this.
Yeah, and James Barton said, I want to know the qualifications to be a judge. Dude, for real. I think the qualifications are you can be easily bought because, like, if you go over to England, like, have you ever heard of Michael Bisping losing the decision in England?
One of the
and now Darren Till? One
of the requirements to be a British judge is, do you take bribery? Do you take bribe money? If so, you're hired.
Yeah.
And then, when it comes to decisions, will you ever choose an American or any other fighter over a British fighter? If the answer is yes, then you're fired.
Yeah, Layla says, how many more judges would you have, though, and how many judges does boxing have?
One anonymous judge to be a swing vote, to be a swing variable. And honestly, if I had it my way, if I could control all of this, it would be all 3 anonymous judges.
Dude, I would have 5 judges because I feel like 3 is so easy for 2 people to see completely different, and then you've got that other guy that's
that's the swing vote.
Yeah, but I feel like if you had 5, it's better chances that they're seeing the same thing, and maybe even have them sitting at different tables and shit. You know?
I feel like that's true, but I feel like the more judges you put into it, the more complicated it's gonna get.
Yeah.
So the point system is gonna be higher. I don't know.
I feel like if they just kept it the same, just added another 2 judges or just 2 anonymous judges. I don't know, man. It's just bullshit to me. I feel like they have got a really bad setting.
There needs to be anonymity in the judging game so that there's no fuckery in the backgrounds.
Because there's a ton, man. But, I mean, so the Stephen Thompson fight, that was a decision, but that was...
if I fully had it my way, there would be no point system.
Just straight knockouts or submissions?
It would be...
or... tap out, like corner throwing the towel.
Yes.
That would be good.
Like, I just got obsessed with this new sport called Lathe.
Yeah.
And it's
freaking
Burmese
amazing.
boxing. Like, I showed John all this stuff. And there's no point system. The only way to win is to knock a person out or for them to quit.
Yeah.
And it's very brutal. And
Pride rules.
Very brutal, and headbutts are allowed. And I'm obsessed. It is phenomenal.
I think it's because we're so used to now, especially coming off this freaking pay-per-view, we're so used to, like... just kind of like fighting, but in a very controlled, tame environment, which is weird because it's against fighting.
I don't agree with Nate Diaz often, but he said something that resonated with me recently, and he was talking about how you have all of these fighters that are coming up that are like the big fighters, but they go in there just to win. He was like, George St. Pierre, whenever he was on the title run, he was finishing fighters, and eventually... like, it got to a point where he just wanted to hold on to his belt, and he just won decisions, and he played it safe. Yeah. That's what a lot of these fighters are doing now. Yeah. And Nate Diaz was like, I'm the best fighter in the world, because I go in there, and it's, I fight and die in the octagon.
Which you could say that now about, like, Jorge Masvidal, dude. Since he finished Till, he's been on, like, just, let's finish the fights, and he keeps calling it let's baptize them, which I think is freaking hilarious and awesome.
Anyways, if they could do a no-point system, that would be phenomenal. Or, if you say you had 4 judges, right, and they couldn't come to a conclusion over the fight, a sudden death victory round that's like 1 or 2 minutes long. Maybe they could go the full 5. And whoever wins that round wins the fight. Especially for title fights. Awesome. There should never, ever, ever, ever...
not even in boxing...
a decision for a title exchange.
Yeah. Oh, wait, go to decision for title exchanges?
No.
See, I agree with that.
Ever.
Not even if there's a fire.
Right.
In the building.
Should be a definitive victory for a title exchange.
Yeah.
Dude, or to keep your title.
So, like, in the Stephen Thompson, Vincent Luque, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, I feel like that did go to decision, but dude,
that was a good
Luke
fight.
just got his face smashed the whole time, and it was a clear decision for Steven.
Yeah, like they both, like Luke had some good moments in that fight, but Stephen Thompson, this was the first time in a long time that I've seen Stephen Thompson going for the finish.
Yeah, the whole fight, except maybe the first round. Maybe the first round he was kind of reserved, but like the rest of it, he was just freaking.
But that is the biggest difference between Till and Thompson right there.
Yes.
Till wanted to win, and he didn't want to finish the fight at all. He just wanted to win to prove that he was whatever in the middleweight division.
Yeah.
And Thompson said fuck it and was trying to finish the opponent.
Which, dude, I think if Thompson ever heard of doing push-ups or bench press, I feel like he probably would have knocked that Luke guy out.
Because he needs to get some wrist strength or like something.
His ground and pound was pretty rough, dude. It was pretty rough. Like,
yeah, it looks like an old man trying to squash a ant on the ground or something.
It was pretty rough. It was rough, dude. But
anyway, so Stephen Thompson beat Luke. Yeah, and it was a good decision.
Yeah, I feel like that was a very good decision.
Derek Lewis and Ivanov. Some parts were a little boring, but for the most part, when they were swinging, it was nuts.
Yes. And Derek Lewis looked way better. Like he looked like he's been training his stamina and actually going for.
They said that he was doing more of like cardio and stuff, so he could go the full 3 rounds. I don't know about 5 rounds now, but 3 rounds, he's good to go now.
He did really good. And then obviously.
Curtis Blades was calling out Derek Lewis again.
Dude, and Derek Lewis is like, that'd be a good matchup for him.
I like that fight.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see it.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good one, man. And honestly, I don't know who would win that fight because Derek Lewis has strength, so does Curtis Blades. I mean, dude, Curtis Blades, the way he got his blades the last game, I mean, just busting people open. In the heavyweight division, dropping elbows on people would weigh like 260 pounds. It's a lot of freaking weight behind an elbow.
It would be a good matchup, I believe.
Yeah. And, well...
Did we miss one down there?
I think, but my computer is so slow. Listen, anybody that wants to sponsor our podcast, just buy me a new computer, okay? Because this computer is horrible, so just deal with us. But while we were trying to find out what this
that was the Kevin Lee fight.
Oh, Kevin Lee. Dude, Kevin Lee with a friggin' head kick. Destroyed that guy. Sent him to the next universe. There it is. Kevin Lee, Gregor Gillespie.
He's a
badass too.
Yeah, they're talking about how Gregor Gillespie is one of the highest decorated wrestlers in UFC right now.
And Kevin Lee stopped that.
And Kevin, for some reason, Gillespie wanted to bang. He didn't want to take.
I know, yeah.
Take it down, and I like that.
I think it's because his last fight, dude. His last fight, he actually showed off some striking and Gillespie, and that's I think got him some confidence.
But Kevin Lee and him, it was a boxing match for the whole time. And the first kick that Kevin Lee threw, nailed him right on the chin and neck.
Dude, blew his freaking head off.
And he was asleep as soon as it hit him.
Yeah.
And it looked like when he landed against the cage that he had a smile on his face with his eyes closed.
He was streaming something good. I
said during the stream, I was like, that's the best sleep he's had in months. Because he was asleep.
Dude, he was.
But congrats to Kevin Lee, though. Because he was kind of cringy for a minute, but I feel like he just this is his first fight with Firas Zahabi.
His
head coach, and you could tell Firas Zahabi is a genius.
Yeah, he did really well, man.
He was George St. Pierre's head coach the whole time, and we all know what happened with George St. Pierre, one of the best fighters the UFC has ever seen.
Dude,
period.
Yeah.
So Kevin Lee I think he's gonna make a run for the title.
I don't doubt it. I feel like he could have before. I just think he got in his own way. Like he was in his, he was his worst.
I forgot who beat him really bad there that one time. It might have been Tony Ferguson. I think it was.
Yeah. I've got the poster I think downstairs. The fight poster. It was Ferguson. Smashed his face pretty good.
Anyways, main event.
Yes. So Masvidal Diaz. Masvidal was dominating that fight. 3 rounds of just Masvidal putting on a clinic.
He destroyed Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
For 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nate Diaz didn't have any moments.
There were I feel like he had some on the ground moments, and dude was kind of almost letting him get him in those situations. Jorge was kind of letting him get in that situation.
I feel like Jorge's smart enough to know when something's coming, though.
Yeah.
And he was doing stuff to get Diaz off of his game for the ground game. Yeah. He was making him pay on the ground. But, yeah, Masvidal destroyed him. I mean, ever since Masvidal has been in Mike Brown's camp, he's on another level.
Yeah, he definitely is, dude.
I'm excited to see him make a run for the title again, and I would love to see Masvidal and Colby Covington.
Dude, that is going to be nuts. That's going to happen eventually, because I think the Marty fight, I don't know who wins that fight. Like, you're going for Marty on that one.
I'm going Usman.
Yeah, I think, like, I don't know, man.
I think Kobe's good. He's proved
Yeah, that's what
I mean, I hate him as a person.
Yes.
But he's proved his fighting ability. But I feel like Usman's power is just on another level.
Yeah.
Like, if he wants to take Covington down, Covington is going down.
But he's got stamina, so dude's going to have to finish the fight. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think, like, that's where I feel like there's the wild card. Because Colby Covington runs, like, ultra marathons, like 100 miles.
I can see that. Because Usman, there's no... I mean, he showed his gas tank in the Woodley fight. Dude. He was on him the whole fight.
Whenever he had him up against the cage, he was just like, rib shot, rib shot, rib shot. That was freaking nuts, dude. For me, I was like, holy shit. It was nuts.
But yeah, as far as the main event, it ended because the doctor stopped it over a cut. And I blame it on the ESPN deal.
Yes, me too. We were talking about this.
Because before that, I've seen cuts where the dude was cut on the top of his head, and there was a literal stream of blood going from his head to the mat when he had mounted the dude. Mm-hmm. And it was just a constant stream of blood. Yeah. And that was in like the end of the first round. Mm-hmm. And they finished the entire fight with that cut.
Yeah, dude, before ESPN.
Middle of the forehead. Just stream.
Before ESPN, you had dudes like Darren Elkins. Have you seen him fight since ESPN deal? I haven't either. Where the hell's Darren Elkins, ESPN? That's one thing I loved about it. Yeah. The UFC. He freaking would just get demolished. Looked like he was in a car wreck where his face flew through the windshield and then smacked into the windshield of the car in front of him. And then grinded on the asphalt. And then he'd still beat people.
And finish the fight.
Freaking Darren Elkins. You don't have to call a fight just because somebody's bleeding. And like, dude.
Especially Nate Diaz.
It was the
amount of punishment he took in this fight was ridiculous.
It was, yes.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he had internal injuries from all the body kicks that he took.
Yeah.
Like, hard.
And punches, dude, oh my God. That was insane. And so, yes, do I feel like Diaz was going to lose that fight? Of course I feel like that. Based off the freaking first 3 rounds.
He only had 2 rounds to finish him. Yeah. Because the first 3 were all Masvidal. So if Diaz didn't finish him in that 4th and 5th round, it would have went to Masvidal anyway.
Yeah. Unless, I mean, the freaking New York Commission, and they do see things completely opposite, so you never know.
Darren Till's like, give it to Diaz. Yeah. I see what he's doing in there.
I see what he's doing. But yeah, so ESPN, you need to fix some shit, because make UFC great again, okay? Yeah. There you go. Since Donald Trump came to the UFC, make UFC great again. But there's a lot of cool stuff that's going on with UFC coming up. I think the 14th there's another event, and trying to get to it so where I can actually see it clicking. Anybody wants to get me a new computer, I'm totally game.
Donations are accepted, as long as they are better than what's here.
yeah. This is a Dell Inspiron something. I don't even know, but it's just probably too much. I bet you
it has that, what do they call that? The technology that they put in phones to make them obsolete.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So after a certain amount of time, it's just...
See, this guy, Zabet, whatever this guy's name is. He's the dude that fought last time, and I was like, he did not do that good of a job. And everybody said that he just mauled this guy. Either way, we're kind of going off topic, and we got a lot of crap to talk about here. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff the UFC does have a lot of really cool stuff going on. Greg Hardy's going to be fighting Alexander... Volkov.
I'm excited for that fight because this is the first bit of stiff competition that Greg Hardy has had.
Yes, and
they've been giving him paper fights.
Yes, they have.
To pad his record.
Yes, they have.
And we'll see. Like after this fight, he's definitely going to need that inhaler.
Yeah, no joke.
Because this guy.
They've only got 1 no contest? I thought he had 2, maybe even 3 no contests at this point. How many no contests does Greg Hardy have?
I don't know.
It's a lot.
Like he's about to be in for a rude awakening with Volkov. I mean, look at that record: 30-7.
Shit.
And then 5-1. Yeah. Come on.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Volkov was supposed to fight Dos Santos, and Dos Santos got injured, so that's why Greg Hardy is stepping in.
Which I think is cool that Greg Hardy stepped in so quick after the turnaround of the
He
last
wants to
fight.
prove
So
that he's legit.
Yeah.
And it's not a fluke and all that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Layla said, "Why is the New York Commission so strict compared to other commissions? It's so annoying." I completely agree. And
because it's a new sport for them to
I was about to say
allowed.
they didn't allow them in there for a while.
Personally, I'm fed up with the fact that every state has its own rules.
I don't understand why they do it.
It's
like
ridiculous.
That. Yeah.
They need it what isn't there like boxing? They have like the unified rule system or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, at least make it like an East and West or a North and South. I mean, I guess they don't do North and South anymore because it reminds them of Civil War.
Civil War times. Let's do this.
At least make it an East and West thing and like split it down the middle. Unified rules on each side. Don't make it unified rules 50 different times.
I wouldn't even do the split, dude. Just go for it straight across the board.
Yeah.
Because like, how do they commission it whenever you go overseas? Like, who is it that's over it whenever it goes to Australia? Whenever it goes to
That's a good question. I mean, surely they have their own boards over there.
Or what if they don't? You know what I mean? Do they have to set something up just for the UFC? And then who appoints those people? Who's watching The Watchmen? ESPN? Fix your shit.
Right.
All right. Here we go.
No, like, I wish that they would unify the rules. Because, I mean, like,
yes.
me and you have, like, commentated on some, like, amateur fights and stuff. And they have amateur fights have different rule sets.
Yes.
They're 100% different rules for amateur MMA. Like, you can't elbow.
Yeah.
You can't, there's certain submissions that you can't do.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, then they still have, like, the can't kick while the opponent's down. Can't freaking do
and
certain
then,
chokes.
And then, even in different states, those amateur rules are different.
Yeah. Did you know, though, in amateur fighting, so if you pop positive for steroids and you fought in Tennessee amateur fighting, you can go to Kentucky and go fight? Doesn't matter. So they have, like, no unification as far as, like, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. So, and like, from a fighter's standpoint, though, that's what I was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
They have to hear these different rules every time they fight.
Yeah.
And it messes with you because you're trying to fight this guy that's trying to kill you.
Yeah, you already got that in your head.
And then you're like, oh, wait, I can't throw that. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And you might accidentally mess up, but not mean to because you're thinking about rules from another state.
Yeah, and like, so...
It's
in
ridiculous.
amateur, for sure, I can see, like, I think that needs to, like, they need to figure that shit out. They need to figure out a unification. And
as far as I'm
professional
concerned,
well.
like, amateur, there needs to be no rules.
The bar rules there are no bar rules.
Once you go pro, you need to be reined in.
Yeah. But with, like, professional, though, I think they need to unify the rules.
Yeah.
For sure. But professional, they should be able to take it and be like, look, this is a rule here. This is what you're going to have to do. Because now you're professional. You're getting paid to think of that shit, you know? So, like, I agree. They need to unify it, but also it's to the fighter. Like, if you go over to ONE FC, like, Demetrius Johnson, dude, that guy is the freaking poster boy of how to, like, execute and use their rules to your advantage. Because he puts his entire fight camp around, like, well, now I can do this.
Yeah.
What can I do here? So, like, oh my God. We had wasp last time, and I think there's like 1,000 freaking ladybugs in our studio.
I'd rather it be ladybugs.
Yeah.
Than wasps.
I got stung so many times in our last podcast. It was ridiculous, dude. Our last wasp podcast. Which is on here. Waspcast. So, we're going to hop off UFC.
But yeah,
got anything you want to throw on there last?
The rule system, it needs a complete revamping.
Yes.
Like, all across the board, they need to go through every single rule with a fine-tooth comb and figure out what to have and what not to have.
Like, some stuff's just outdated.
12-6 elbow needs to be a thing. At
least in, like, certain situations.
The reason that it was outlawed in the first place was because when UFC first started, there was one of the commissioners or whatever that was writing the rules saw a video of a karate person breaking bricks with a downward elbow and thought that it was too dangerous for the sport. So like, that's why it's outlawed, people.
Do you remember in the... it was back whenever they were still wearing gis, but this guy had a dude in a crucifix and was feeding him those elbows to his face, and there's like nothing he could do about it. That was beautiful, and I think that probably didn't help. Probably didn't help the
I
outlawing.
could see
of it.
that.
But it was
still,
cool. Whatever, you got yourself in the position, you know?
Right.
Like, you should get out of it.
And I mean, like, proper officials, like referees, if they saw that happening, like in modern MMA, it would be
Fight's over.
It would be 1, 2, stop.
Yeah.
Stop the fight. As soon as they saw that
totally
you couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So 12-6 elbows, freaking knees when they're down. It shouldn't be, like, you shouldn't be able to avoid a knee by doing this.
Yes.
With your hand on the mat and be like, can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Bet you won't.
In real life, I would be doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I don't know. I totally agree, dude. I feel like they need to revamp just across the board and unify it. I feel like if somebody just came to them with a proposal of like, these are the new rules. This is your Bible. Freaking worship this. This is what you freaking bring to your fighters, and you can and cannot of mixed martial arts. Allow that. And I don't know if it's the same in like Bellator, and I know like PFL has way stricter rules. Like their rules are ridiculous. You can't elbow at all in the early fights, and then in the playoffs you can. It's weird.
That's just strange.
It's weird stuff.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Quit holding people back. They're fighting.
Let them fight.
We want to see them fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go watch Lathway. Look that up. If you're watching this podcast right now, look up Lathway.
Yeah.
It's Lethwei. And look up Dave LeDuc. Or I think that's how you say his name. Burmese boxing, it will change your mind. It will
change your mind.
You'll love it. You'll love it. If you love MMA at all, you will love what you see.
So this is going to take probably about 20-30 minutes for me to change screens here. But whenever my computer does decide to load its completely slow self, we've got some other awesome news. Transitioning from UFC into more like craziness.
If you ever drive a lot, like if you drive a lot,
all the time.
I have to eat in my car a lot because of my job. And I found such a good way to eat in my car.
That's genius.
Like, I like these sunflower seeds from Kroger. Mm-hmm. A lot of times they're on sale. And they're really good.
I do like sunflower
seeds. Like $1.60, something like
legs.
that. And, like, I'll keep the container.
Yeah.
And then I'll put my other snacks inside the containers. So, like, when I'm driving, all I have to do is be like...
The more you know.
And it's so...
It works. All right, well, hold on. I got one. And since you're throwing out this land of knowledge, I thought I was going to puke before this podcast. And I just spilled some knowledge onto you before we went on. I was like, look, if you think you're about to puke, grab yourself some chocolate. Because even if you do puke, then you're just puking up chocolate, and it's still delicious coming out.
I mean, the logic is so sound.
It's not going to keep you from puking, but it will
Right.
make puking a little bit less horrible.
It's more magical. It's like...
Yeah. It's just delicious.
It's like the Keebler elves. That's how they make your fudge stripe cookies. It's just a bunch of little elves vomiting chocolate out of their mouth on top of your cookies.
Right onto your cookies.
They're tossing their cookies onto your cookies.
Beautiful. And you know what? I got the kind with almonds in it. It would not feel great coming out. But straight Hershey's chocolate, in retrospect, would have been way better. Oh my god, my computer's so slow, people. I do apologize. Someone please sponsor our podcast. Oh god. Also, it's like freezing cold.
If this isn't proof enough that we need it.
Oh god. Well, we've got a lot of really cool topics that are like kind of breaking news. So if this computer does decide to work, oh my god. Oh, whoa, what's going on here? We've got like 50 different angles on her. Dude, I freaking love this new microphone and this new like camera setup.
The breaking news is breaking the computer.
Yes. Holy crap, how is this happening to us? All right. Well, either way, Chris, we'll just start talking about the next one because I don't know what's going on with this. It is thinking about coming back to life, but not coming back to life.
That's not, yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go with it anyways.
Okay.
Go for it.
So,
first one.
First topic, whenever it pops up.
If it pops up.
God, I can't remember where this was at. I mean, obviously it was somewhere in America.
Yeah.
This is the only place in the world where you're going to hear this kind of stupid.
If you had to pinpoint just a state, where do you think this happened at?
I would say Washington.
I could see that.
Or maybe somewhere in the South.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was thinking some southern states. I could see it either happening in like Georgia, possibly. Alabama's been in the news for meth squirrels, so I wouldn't put that out of the realm of possibility. But yeah.
Yeah, anyways, a man was stabbed to death at a Popeyes chicken.
Yeah.
Because the dude thought he cut in front of him in line
Yeah.
for one of those new chicken sandwiches. He stabbed him to death. Like, it wasn't just, fuck you. It was, he killed him.
Do you know how many stab wounds? Oh. Do you know how many stab wounds?
No, see, that's what weirds me out.
Yeah.
Because usually, I mean, it's hard to kill someone with a knife. Unless you know exactly what you're doing. Like, you're a trained, like, professional, like, Navy SEAL or whatever, and you know where to stab them.
Yeah.
This was, I don't know if this was just some, like, they haven't caught him. They're asking for him to turn himself in.
Maryland. We were way off. It's so off. But either way, Maryland. Holy crap.
Okay. So he kills this guy, or so he stabs this guy, and he gets away somehow.
Really?
Yeah. And they're asking for him to turn himself in. Like, I don't understand
I just got off.
Almost any of this.
Yeah.
Did he have a giant knife that made a giant wound?
Yeah.
Or a small knife, and he stabbed him multiple times before and everybody was just like,
oh God,
and didn't do anything?
Yeah. I don't get it either, man. And honestly, how far are we going to let this rivalry go? Because for all we know, that guy could have been sent over from Chick-fil-A. Okay? Chick-fil-A and Popeyes having this freaking chicken sandwich rivalry, and now people are getting stabbed to death.
It's, like, ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly haven't had this chicken sandwich.
I haven't either.
I don't really care about it that much because I've had some bad experiences at Popeyes.
Yeah.
Especially at the one in Dixon.
The one in Dixon is just
bottom of the barrel.
Horse shit.
Bottom of the
barrel. I love Popeyes.
Yeah.
But that one's rough.
When we went on tour one time, I think it was the one in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah.
That one was phenomenal.
It was delish.
That one made me fall in love with Popeyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one here made me fall out of love with Popeyes.
I mean, how can you do it to us? But yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Like, I just don't understand how someone can get that mad to where they stab someone over a chicken sandwich. That they're gonna get eventually.
Yeah. Here's my thoughts on it. Maybe what happened is they're like, all right, guys, we're running low on chicken sandwiches. And then, dude fucking cuts line. And he gets stabbed for
I
it.
can see that, but not a stabbing. Maybe a, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
And then a fight.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah. It was 2 hours ago, so this was like breaking news.
Why does it have to go straight to killing?
I mean, yeah. Maybe.
Has this guy not ate in like 5 days or something?
He's been ready to binge on chicken sandwiches.
He was homeless, and he had been saving up his change to get this Popeyes chicken sandwich, maybe.
That seems like the only option for why I would stab you over a chicken sandwich.
I just cannot comprehend it with my brain.
I don't understand what happened here either. But I will say this. Their chicken sandwiches look delicious in picture.
I mean, it looks delicious.
It looks freaking tasty. I'm a close up. Here we go. We're getting in on this. Boom.
But
that's what chicken sandwich
the
looks
greatest
like.
Chicken sandwich in fast food?
Chicken sandwich.
Who has it?
I'm going to go on and say Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. That's what I'm going to throw out there. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, obviously, I don't approve of all of Chick-fil-A's morals at all.
Yeah.
But
they are off on Sundays, though. I mean, that's 1 day a week they're not working.
The spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A with Chick-fil-A sauce is one of the best freaking chicken sandwiches you can get fast food-wise.
I don't know, man. I love Chick-fil-A's nuggets, but I overeat them. Like, I'll get a 12-piece and then large fries and everything, and I just and like gallons of Polynesian sauce, and then I like have to eat some chocolate.
I think the reason that this stuff is happening is because of the overhypeness that's going on with this chicken sandwich. That's the only reason it happened. I guarantee you this guy has never had one before.
Yeah.
And he was like, he just had the hype in him.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's just living on it, dude.
Let me throw out a scenario. Like, okay, you're driving home from work.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you're hungry. It's the end of the day or whatever.
We've all been there.
And you hear an advertisement on the radio, Popeye's new chicken sandwich, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, that sounds pretty good. I think I'm going to go to Popeyes.
Yeah.
You drive to Popeyes and there's a line. And you're like, okay, well, crap. And then you get in line, but somebody thinks that you cut in front of them somehow.
Yeah.
Even if you cut or didn't. Let's just say, for example, you didn't think you were cutting line.
Yeah.
So
I've been there.
So you get in line. Dude starts freaking out. Mm-hmm. And you're like, whoa, man. I don't know what's
dead.
And then you're dead. Just because you wanted to try a chicken sandwich.
Alright. Hold on though. Okay, so I've got an experience where I almost got jumped because I cut line. knowingly, unknowingly, partially intoxicated in New Orleans. Okay, so there's this bar. And we thought that the people that we were with went in the bar. So we were like, all right, well, we're just going to walk in the bar. So I'm like standing there. There's like a lot of people in the streets. It was in Bourbon Street. So there's like people everywhere.
Yeah.
So
you can't tell where there's a line and where there's not a line.
But I probably could have if I was in a better state of mind. So I was like walking in there, and I'm like behind some people, in front of some people, in the line. Mm-hmm. Cutting line. And so I'm talking to the person beside me. This lady, like, starts losing her shit on me. Just losing it. Yeah, cutting, blah, 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 blah. Losing it. So I just turned around and, like, put my hand on her shoulder. And I was like, I am so sorry for cutting your line. And then I just walked off. I just completely left. And, like, that's all that happened. But she was losing it. Even while I put my arms on her shoulder. And her dude was beside her, too. And, like, they were, like, losing it. Because, like, some random dude stumbles in there. And I think I was yelling something like, Roll Tide! Because, like, these people were, like, Florida Gators fans. So I already wasn't a fan favorite there. And, like, I just put my hands on her shoulders. Dude, I am so sorry for cutting your line. And then I just left.
Oh, that reminds me of a time when we were in Buffalo Wild Wings. And we were going to see a UFC fight. And it was packed out. And we were waiting there for, like, an hour or so.
Yeah, that was good times.
And I can't fully remember the situation.
But you were involved. But that guy was such a dick for some reason.
The dude turned around and, like, told you to be quiet or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I guess loud person.
You were, like, sitting in your chair like this, and there was somebody behind you. Mm-hmm. And, like,
I felt like for some reason me and Buffalo Wild Wings had a really bad run.
Like, it was a crazy lady and her husband. Yeah. And they were arguing about something and saying something, and it was about you. And you could hear them.
Yeah.
And, like, you turned around and you were like, don't talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah, what it was, I was like tapping, because we were waiting in line. It was like a Brock Lesnar fight. That's what it was. So there was like a Brock Lesnar UFC event, and we were like, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
This was years ago.
Yeah. And I've got that little pager thing. Like, they give you one of those things. And so I was like, I was a younger dude. So I like, if now I probably wouldn't do this, but like then I did it. But I'm sitting there doing this. And the dude smarted off to me, and I was
just mindless tapping. It wasn't like you were like...
Yeah. So the dude smarts off to me. I smart back off to him. And then, like, I'm standing, like, on this pillar that's right here, and their table is, like, right beside the pillar. And that's why he got mad, because I was, like, tapping that pretty much right in his ear. But I was an asshole, and I don't know. And so either way, but he was, and then they like started like talking shit about me amongst themselves, and I was like, I don't remember what I said, but I was like, something. I don't even know. I was like,
I remember, like, I didn't hear you do this, but I saw it. Like, you were sitting in a chair or something, you turned around and you're like, it was like that.
It's like a Chinese movie. And
I asked you what happened, you're like, I was like, don't talk to me.
I don't even know. I said something really stupid.
But it shut them up. They shut up and left, like, not too soon after.
Yes.
Sometimes you just gotta freaking tell people to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Life, man. Don't be a dick unless you can take an ass whooping. If you're gonna run your mouth. If you can take an ass whooping, be a dick if you want to, I guess. But, I don't know. Just, that's my words. So, next thing, and our computer actually worked pretty well, so I don't know who's sending some positive vibes our way, but hey, thank you for that.
The vibes are filling the computer with energy.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Next story. Pow! CEO of McDonald's gets fired for a relationship that becomes taboo. Bun dun dun dun.
It sounds ominous.
It does.
But it's really not.
No. Epstein didn't kill himself. This guy was just hooking up with one of his employees, which I guess is not... it's frowned upon in the workplace. Yeah. For sure. I get it.
He's the CEO of McDonald's.
I'm just wondering if he just went into a random McDonald's and was like, hey, cashier. Like, how far down the chain did he go?
That's the real question.
Was it a chick that was in the home office with him?
When it says employees, it makes me think it was somebody that was working at a McDonald's restaurant.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah, he's like a CEO, and he's just going into the restaurants.
He walks in there and gets confused, and he's like, how would you like to see my Big Mac?
Dun, dun, dun. R.I.P. John. So, Yeah, pretty much that's what happened. This guy freaking...
Or he goes, what do you think of this Whopper?
And he's like, wait a second, that's
Do you
McDonald's.
like your quarter pounder with cheese?
Because there's a lot of cheese on this.
Basically, the only reason I'm joking about it is because it's a consensual relationship. It's
Yes.
not like he preyed upon these people.
Yeah.
It's over. He was fired over a consensual relationship with an employee.
I mean, look at this dude's face. I'm going to give you back his face.
Both of them were consenting adults here.
This is the dude's face. Okay? He looks like a young Hugh Jackman. Which maybe ate a little too much McDonald's. He got high on his supply, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I don't know. This one's a little weird because the company, it's like a zero tolerance policy.
Yeah.
They fired him because of the situation that's not supposed to happen.
Yes.
Even though it was consensual.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, this guy apparently was the guy that turned McDonald's around when they were going downhill.
Yeah.
So he saved them from a lot of financial troubles.
I bet there's a lot of people that are pissed from McDonald's that guy got fired.
Yeah.
From it. But I will say this, at least it's holding them accountable. Because I remember working at Lowe's, that place was like a fucking cesspool of
It still is.
There you go. It sucks, dude. I hate stuff like that. Like,
if you work at Dixon Lowe's,
yeah,
we know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's gross stuff, man.
Everyone knows.
There's good people that work there for sure. Like
right.
I like a lot of the people there, but there's some gross ass people there too.
There's actually a lot of people that are retired.
Yeah,
that work at Lowe's just because they like being around like supplies and.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a plane about to smash the podcast. We've been targeted by terrorists.
But no, they like being around tools. They like helping people out, and they're really good people.
Yeah,
At the Dixon Lowe's, especially.
Yeah, there's really good ones. Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, there's a lot of really sleazy people.
Yeah.
In the upper management positions that just prey
on the newer people. It's kind of like
the newer cashiers. They hire these chicks just to do that.
Yeah, dude, it's like Dazed and Confused. It's like Dazed and Confused, man. I keep getting older, and these chicks keep staying the same age. They keep hiring 18-year-old, just out of high school, very gullible people.
It's very, 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 very similar.
Yes. So I don't know, man, but I will say this: it sucks for that guy. He put a lot of hard work into McDonald's and stuff like that. But I will also say at least that they held true to their held to their guns.
He's not
even
above
the highest
law.
guy. Yeah, and I think that's fucking cool.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as this goes, if you're a CEO of a company, you're a millionaire or whatever, you're doing your own thing, don't do that.
Yeah.
Go look somewhere else, right?
Go to Burger King. Go to freaking Wendy's.
Right.
Anywhere.
I mean, that's allowed.
Sonic has those girls that are on the freaking, they always rollerblade and stuff. Go to Sonic.
Some of them still do.
Go to Sonic. I don't know.
Skater girls.
Yeah.
Is that how it goes?
I think so. James Barton said, R.I.P. John. Maybe I'm dead. Maybe I'm not. I'm not really sure what you mean, but I like it. And here we go. Maybe you meant R.I.P. John's computer, because I'm going to shoot this computer after.
This guy's just going to go get another CEO job within a couple weeks.
Yes.
They're giving him 6 months severance here.
Are they?
Of his base salary.
Which is astronomical. I can only imagine what the CEO of McDonald's is making.
So, he could go and become a CEO of another company and still be getting that 6 months base pay.
Yes.
As well as his salary at the new company.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it might be a... What do you call that? There's a bright side, I guess.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Oh, okay. James said, I said Epstein didn't kill himself. That is true. He totally didn't. We'll get to that. But hopefully we'll get to anything else other than this McDonald's guy has sex with a woman and gets fired. And it was consensual. I wonder if he has a wife and there was that. Because it said it's becoming taboo. Relationship that's becoming taboo. And furthermore, really quick, let me get this off my chest, okay? I feel like if you're in any position of power in your workplace, via manager, associate, doctor, nurse, CEO, freaking secretary, any of that stuff, and you take advantage of that stuff, you're a piece of shit in my opinion. That's all I got to say about that. Because
I fully agree.
Yeah, I feel like, dude,
there's all those people that are like, you never know when it's going to happen. You're going to meet the love of your life.
Yeah.
No.
You're in a position of power. It's preying on the weak, my friend. And I'm not saying that the people are weaker than you, but whenever you're in a position of power in a workplace, while you're at work, yes, it's easier for you to be looked at like, oh, this person. Mm-hmm. Looked at, I don't know. So that's what I will say.
Man, I fully agree.
That's my soapbox for that.
Just go somewhere else. It's not that hard.
Yeah, man.
You don't have to sit there and snoop around where you're working.
Yeah, and if you're that much of a baller, go find a chick somewhere else or go find a dude somewhere else. We can be preyed upon, okay? Yeah. Chicks, stop trying to get at us if you're our bosses. Preying on the weak.
I mean, what was that movie, Horrible Bosses, where Jennifer Aniston was...
Yeah, trying to get at Charlie Day. Mm-hmm. It's a true freaking story.
It can happen.
It can happen. Oh my god, computer, here we go with the problems again.
Most dudes would never come forward though because it makes them seem weak, so it can be embarrassing for them.
Yeah,
it's still kind of sort of the same situation because like they could be like, if you don't have sex with me, you're fired.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what I've come to learn, and I don't know this from the other side of the fence. So if there's any women watching this, I do apologize, but I can't see it from your point of view because I haven't been there. But in my experience, women are a lot more like forceful than guys are nowadays, and I don't know that that's just like across flirting? The board. Yeah, they're a lot more straightforward, a lot more like, dude, I've been told by like chicks that were like, I don't know, like not in my opinion, somebody I'm going for, you know, and like, but like very, I don't know, just very forward stuff that I would never say to a chick. Yeah, like, yeah. I've had people be like, I'd ride you like a... Oh my god, no!
No, I think it just went there. I hope.
It's gone to the place of no return, people. Alright, so either way, we're freaking gonna get a new computer soon. Possibly. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, you know, if you're in a position of power, don't be going for the people, alright?
Right.
That's my goal on that one. And the next thing that we were gonna talk about, if this stupid computer would work. Too much porn, guys. Too much porn.
I've been having so many random numbers call my phone.
You know why?
And like, I've looked them up, and every single one of them that I've looked up have been scam numbers.
It just says this is a scam number?
This number is a known scam number in Nashville.
Yeah. Wonder what's going on with my computer here. Alright, so, next thing that we got going on.
The one that I had was the phone from New Delhi. I don't know if it's New Delhi or if it's just Delhi.
I think it was Delhi.
Okay.
I don't think it's New Delhi. Well, hopefully our computer comes back. But in the meantime, we'll just talk about what happened. It's totally gone, dude. It left completely.
Are you using Internet Explorer?
Yeah. Is that why he's doing this?
I bet you $100. That's why.
If I was on freaking Mozilla, Jesus.
You gotta get Google Chrome on there.
I got it over here. I just don't really use it. But, alright, so
I was an adamant fan of Internet Explorer for so long. Everybody was like, oh, you need to use Firefox. And I'm like, every time I use Firefox, it fucks up.
Yeah.
I like my Internet Explorer. I'm just that kind of person. When I find something I like, I'm loyal to it.
You just stick with it, yeah.
But eventually, it got to the point where I noticed that Internet Explorer was shitting out.
Yeah.
So, and then...
It's kind of like the freaking old Ford, man.
Google, you know, became prominent, and I was like, alright, I'm going Google Chrome. And then you just never go back, you know?
It's back live. I don't know what's going on, guys. We're just going to red ring of death this computer and shoot it live on the podcast.
No, it's going to be like an Office Space. The music's playing.
Yeah.
Jim, we have the bat.
Be a gangster. Yeah, dude. But so this foam thing
that's off the balcony.
Yes, and I'll just skeet shoot it, dude. I'll shoot it with a bow.
Pull, dude, the bow.
Dude, I'll do it with a bow. But foam thing in Dubai, or no, not in Dubai, Delhi. So there's
going new school and using my phone.
Oh, cellular devices. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, Delhi is like covered in toxic smog right now.
Yeah.
I forgot, I read it somewhere, but it was, I think Delhi was in the top 10 most polluted places in the world. Mm-hmm. I guess that's in India, right? Mm-hmm. Was one of the most, polluted places in the world.
Yeah.
But right now, it's going through some major, shit.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Here the air is so full of pollution that if you're not wearing a mask, it will. I mean, it still burns your lungs.
Mm-hmm.
But if you stay outside for a prolonged amount of time, it can do irreversible damage to your lungs right now.
See, I don't know, man. That's insane to me.
And it is burning people's eyes.
Yeah.
You can't even open your eyes outside barely without it burning.
What is it in Delhi that's causing all the pollution? Do you know?
I don't know.
I mean, because you would think like cars and stuff like that, but it's not like that in New York City, and it's covered in cars, man.
They do have a lot of cars there, and it's a lot of really old cars.
So it's just
like without
just
catalytic converters, whatever it is, the converters.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of really terrible emissions coming from cars. There's a lot of factories out there, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And there's images, if it ever pops up.
No, it's never going to. We're just straight up back to the home screen, guys.
But they have a
Taylor Swift breaks down on the voice. All right. Sorry.
But basically there's a annual Chat Puja. I think it's like a festival sort of, or like a...
Where they do like prayers.
Ritual, some sort of thing. And they offer prayers to the rising sun.
Yeah.
And it's near one of the Yamuna River, which is like a major river that runs through Delhi. And these people were standing near the river offering prayers in like waist-deep toxic foam that washed up from the river. Like, that's how bad it's getting. It's crazy.
So yeah, in saying that, we were checking it out while we were kind of Googling it while we were getting on here, and we watched a video because I was like, I haven't heard anything about this, because it was literally like just a few minutes before we started the podcast that this story kind of showed up on there. So we watched the video. I mean, while we're watching the video, like, it's really sad because it's an Indian reporter, and he's like, this is kind of the world that we're living in now, and this is like...
He was saying, is this our future?
Yeah, he was like,
it's gonna be for us?
We have a right to breathe, is what he was saying. Which is like, sucks, man. That's like the lowest of like basic human rights at the lowest level.
I can't even imagine like walking outside and not even being able to breathe the air.
Yeah, it would suck so much.
It's just so strange to me to imagine that.
Yeah, but so we watched that. And then directly after it, like, loaded an ad after he said, we have a right to breathe. And then the next ad was like this Las Vegas foam party, and it was like dudes just blowing foam out of these cannons, and people like losing it.
Like freaking rap music playing, and it was like nuts, like Spring Break 2019.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Shooting foam everywhere, and it was like Foam City, and I was like,
oh my god,
that's the worst advertisement.
Yeah, I think they just saw that we posted foam, and like that was a natural next thing. I'm just gonna post this up because obviously our Explorer has completely fucked us over on this. But we can go on and talk about some of the other stuff that we know.
Yeah. So, anyways, to me, the Delhi thing, it just brings to light a lot of the stuff that's going on in the world that, you know, maybe we don't know about yet.
Yeah.
That's dealing with climate change and dealing with the fact that there's too much toxic emissions in the world right now.
Yeah.
Period.
And even if, like, that doesn't necessarily go into the atmosphere or whatever, that's going into their river. And I think that's what's causing a lot of their, like, foam exact instance or whatever. Toxic foam.
I guess the gases, because a lot of times gases aren't just, like, air. It's molecules. Mm-hmm. So these molecules will probably go up into the air, and then they fall because they're heavier than the oxygen that we breathe. And they land in the river, and the river washes it up as this foam, and you can physically see the toxic
foam. That's
shit
insane.
that people are breathing in.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering if it's not even so much just like the gases that are being emitted as far as like just like waste. Because have you seen like in Tahiti and stuff like that, like the whole river is like got just like they've got at the riverbanks, it's like where people go to shit at and throw all their trash. They don't have any type of trash disposal. They just throw it into the river. And
that's
like
ridiculous.
That could be it, dude. And so, I mean, it's probably an accumulation of, like, that on top of freaking the old cars, on top of, like, everything else and overpopulation.
Yeah.
And, like, we didn't have these problems before because, like, I can't remember what year it was, but whenever we broke, like, 1 billion people on the planet, whenever that population line broke, it just exploded, and now it's to where it is now. And I don't think they have even a good idea of where we're at. They have an estimation of like what 7 point something.
I don't know,
but it's way more than that. I guarantee you. And like, we have new world problems in the sense that we're like overpopulated now. Whereas back in the day, like whenever they had 100,000 people, of course, like they didn't have a lot of these problems that we have. But now it's like the anthill is overran.
Yeah,
like
it's because we live in a consumerist world. Like everything is about consuming.
Yeah,
there's nothing dealing with what happens after we consume. Yeah, it's all about consuming. Period.
Well, I feel like if there's a way that they could find out how to profit off of that back end, which I think is what a lot of like, which kind of leads us into this next thing, but I feel like that's kind of what a lot of people are doing with like the Green New Deal and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that are profiting on the back end of this deal. So there's like other things that are happening in that. So even though it might be presented as like, let's get zero emissions, there's other people that are profiting off of like the alternatives.
Because you need new things to be built and created to deal with the back end of that. Yeah. So, I mean, it would make a lot of sense to try and get these big oil companies that just want you to use natural gas until everyone on the planet dies from it. Yeah. To get behind an alternative so that they can still make money and we can get rid of this outdated fuel system. Yeah. And so that kind of brings us to our next thing. It sucks that it's not really pulling up on this. But I could probably try to do this really quick. We're just going to Google because Google's our friend. Let me see. It's the solar... Yeah, Sweden scientist solar power.
Oh, there it is. All right.
Sweden, though. They are on the cutting edge, and they know what's up.
The Swedish knife, isn't that the Swedish pocket knife? Is that the
Switzerland? Yeah, that's Switzerland.
Never mind. I was thinking that the whole time.
They're so close.
They do have the Swedish-made penis enlarger, made famous by freaking what was his name?
Austin
Powers.
Danger Powers.
Yeah. So Sweden does have a lot of really revolutionary thoughts.
Yes, they're very, very climate conscious, which is what we need in this world. Like, yeah, I mean, people. Just anybody that ignores the fact that there is climate change, they just have not done proper research. Yeah. I mean, it is happening on a daily basis around us as we speak. I mean, it's November 5th and it's like almost 60 degrees outside. Yeah. I mean, I know that everything happens in rotations, like according to the almanac and all that stuff, but...
You feel like a lot of it is man-made too?
Yeah. I mean... Clearly, like, there's no other way to explain a lot of this stuff because, I mean, 100 years ago, we didn't have anywhere near the amount of factories and emissions that we do now. And you've seen what has happened over the years. I mean, the ice caps are proof enough. Yeah. Melting. And I mean, it's like, the amount of insects that you see now. I mean, I remember a time where I could walk outside every summer and see billions of fireflies.
Yeah, that's
now
true. Not as many.
I mean, you'll be lucky to see one or two flying around. Yeah, it's crazy.
I think like I don't know. I feel like it goes back to that kind of like population type thing. So I think like we definitely have an impact. This is just my opinion. I don't have any like research to back it up or anything like that.
I mean, sort of the same for mine. I've done a little bit of research, but I'm not like a freaking climate scientist or anything. So yeah.
But like, I feel like what they're doing is an awesome way of doing it because it says that they found a solution that would allow the power of the sun's rays to be used across a range of consumer applications, heating everything from homes to vehicles. But pretty much what it is...
For 18 years, they found a way to harness the sun's power, and it will last last up until 18 years. Not necessarily you can run everything for 18 years, but it will store it for that long of a time.
And what
you can use it whenever you need it.
Yeah, it looks like what is that? Pollutants? I don't know. Either way.
Pulse and energy trapping molecule? Yeah. It's some sort of energy trapping molecule that they've discovered. And they put it in windows.
Yeah. So here's my thoughts. If it is just a molecule that can be harvested without like completely turning into something horrible, like these factories that do the lithium ion batteries. I don't know if you've seen a lot of the plants that actually like harvest that stuff, but everybody that was talking about like, get an electric vehicle, get this. it's really not any better for the environment than gas cars are, because even though like gas, you still have to like mine it and stuff like that. That land is still usable. Whenever they do the lithium, it's like the Congo. Have you heard a lot about the stuff that happened in the Congo?
Mm-mm.
Crazy wars and horrible shit has happened in the Congo based off of them trying to get like the materials and the different elements that they use to make smartphones and the gases that they use in that. And the way that they make lithium batteries is they have to actually ore this stuff out of the ground. But these people that own,
it's crazy. A lot of the stuff that's in cell phones too.
Yeah. So cell phones, the battery processors and stuff like that. I mean, like the way that they actually make those causes more harm than it's supposed to be fixing. Yeah. So like them coming up with something like this, that molecule, I don't know how they make it, but if that's honestly, that would be freaking legit.
I feel like if it's something coming from Sweden, it's probably environmentally safe.
Yeah.
Because they're very, very conscious of that stuff.
Yeah. So I think that's freaking awesome, man. I just hope that they have like that's what I'm talking about. I feel like if the Green New Deal, if they had like better alternatives than these things, like there's a factory in Texas actually that does it's natural gas. So it's a natural gas factory that it's like a power plant. It's a natural gas power plant, and it has some type of like filtration system, so it's self-sufficient, and it actually releases cleaner air into the atmosphere. I don't know how they do it, and I haven't really looked into it a lot, but if there was stuff like that going on, like research into that type stuff,
right?
That's what I'm hoping.
I believe that. I think that's something they just need to look into.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, whenever they talk about this green stuff and this climate change stuff, they're only looking at half of the solution.
Yeah.
They're only looking at, you should stop doing this. You need to stop doing that. Everybody's got to stop this. Stop that. Stop it.
Yeah.
They need to figure out an alternative instead of just stopping doing this.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a way you can do that and stop it from harming things, but, still keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Or, like, I see a lot of the times, I think a lot of people get caught up in politics and stuff. I feel like people need to just, like, look at, like,
it's a right and left thing.
Exactly.
Again.
And it goes, like, right and left. It's as simple as, like, gas-powered cars, battery-powered cars. But they just look at it like, oh, you like natural gas, or, oh, you like batteries, you're on this or this. But why don't they look at, like, if that is the case, if there is a molecule that you can use, look for a different alternative other than just looking at, like, let's battery operate every car that's out there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the best idea, And, like, I feel like if they just put more money into research, there's cars out there that run on freaking,
hydrogen.
Yeah.
We were talking about it a minute ago, but
it's crazy.
I can't remember. It might have been Switzerland. Sweden or Switzerland or one of those. Their entire country is going to be without, like, it's going to be illegal to own a fossil fuel car.
There you go.
Within a certain year, and they're all going to be hydrogen-powered vehicles, and the emission is water vapor.
That's freaking nuts, dude. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that they could do. There's a lot of different research that they should be pouring money into instead of trying to defund things. They should be trying to fund things, and maybe give you like a government kickback if you are trying to find stuff instead of trying to hold people back from doing it.
Another big thing that would help a lot of places is in every one of these big cities in America, like the biggest cities. Like obviously Nashville is getting like crowded and up and coming and all that.
Yeah.
But, like, the big cities, Nashville, I think, would be a good candidate because right now the traffic is ridiculous. It's because everyone is moving here.
Yep.
But
it's like they're bringing their own problems to our city.
Yeah,
like
they're leaving the problems that they have in their city and bringing their problems with them. Like, anyways, they need to work on the public transit system.
Yeah.
Make it a revamped thing, either with electric, like, you know how they have, like, the trams?
Yeah.
Like, with the, tramways. Make them more readily available to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, more environmental-friendly buses or whatever, if you can do that.
Yeah.
And cut down the amount of cars that have to be on the road. Because, one, that will help everyone that's trying to get in and out of the city, because there's less traffic. And two, it will cut down on all the emissions, So a revamping of the public transit system would be awesome, I believe.
I'm going to pull this up really quick while we're...
Hold on. I think there's one more thing, though.
Oh, dude got his
Oh,
yes.
I forgot about that one.
All right, so really quick, and this is actually dying. I should have brought a charger up here, so we probably got like 20 minutes or so left. But
I'll save the homeless thing for another one then.
Oh yeah, but we'll definitely talk about that too. So 2 things going on before we get to what's actually on the screen right now, or one thing going on and then the thing on the screen. We're not live news anchors, okay? Fuck. But so
who's that guy that did the? We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
We're not him.
Dang it! Yeah, he was good. He was good though. So check it out. All right, first thing that happened is there is. Oh hey, Aubrey said she digs the live podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is like our first real one.
Yeah, I know. We kind of did one like semi-live, but it was private, and then we uploaded it later. But either way, so the freaking first thing is in the Hong Kong protest, a pro-democracy politician actually got his freaking ear bit off. And a guy was like apparently stabbing some people in the mall.
It was some sort of mall attack.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know what's going on in Hong Kong right now,
you're in the nuts.
It's nuts.
It's crazy as hell.
I mean, it is one of the most ridiculous protesting and, like, not necessarily ridiculous, but hardcore.
Yes, for sure.
Protests and riots that has ever happened in, like, years.
Yeah. So, we've got 10% battery on this, but here we go. I'm going to throw this out there. 2 things. So, the Hong Kong protest is obviously, they're trying to become a democracy instead of a dictatorship. And they have freaking, like, American flags that they're, like, holding around, and I think you said that everybody over there has the,
yeah, they're wearing Guy Fawkes masks today because it's the 5th of November.
Mm-hmm.
But,
it's craziness, man.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Like, the people want democracy because they're tired of being... Basically, the government runs their country without any kind of word from the people.
Yeah, it's complete dictatorship.
It is fully whatever the government says goes, and the people have no say. None.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
So, the Hong Kong is wanting pro-democracy, and there are some politicians that want to be pro-democracy.
Yeah.
But in general... What is it? China is the ones that sort of own Hong Kong or something?
Yeah, so what happened was it used to belong to another state in Europe. A country. It belonged to another country, and then they gave it back to China.
Right.
So that's what's happening, and like they want to be a democracy.
And what started it is the Chinese people or the Taiwan people. Mm-hmm. They wanted this prisoner that was over there to be extradited back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Chinese people wanted a guy that was on the run for murder that was hiding in Hong Kong to be extradited back to Taiwan. And then they were gonna pass a bill that made it to where anybody that was a wanted like criminal had to be extradited back to China if they no matter what.
Yeah. It's crazy. We need to do a whole podcast on support Hong Kong. We'll just do that. Next podcast, you want to do it?
Yeah.
Let's freaking do it, dude.
I mean, everybody wants to censor it because the main reason is that China funds a lot of the companies in the United States of America.
Yeah.
So when anybody brings it up over here, especially in sports, the Chinese people...
Yeah, well, like they sponsor a lot of the NBA.
Baseball, NBA, I mean, a lot of stuff. They sponsor a lot of stuff. And those companies are afraid that they're going to get censored over there.
Lose that sponsorship.
Lose that money. So,
dude, and also I'll tell you this.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty nuts.
I've got a thought. I think that it's also more than just a financial type thing. I think it's also one of those things that this is a prototype. What happens when the people go against such a huge government. And if Hong Kong people can actually overthrow their government in this, that would scare a lot of people in the swamp of our government. I think that's one thing too.
That, and I'm pretty sure our country is just afraid to piss off China because maybe they could wipe us out.
Dude, I swear, man, with this trade deal, like I think that's the closest to brass that we've had against China. I think that's awesome.
I mean, they have their nukes aimed at us right now.
Yeah, very likely.
I mean, obviously.
So here we go. Last thing before we get off here, I wanted to talk about this. There's been some news about Jeffrey Epstein. A reporter was caught with a live microphone. Not caught with a live microphone, but a video leaked of her talking with a microphone on about them having prior knowledge to all the stuff that happened with the Epstein case 3 years ago, them having knowledge about this stuff.
Yeah,
while he was
essentially
still walking around.
Essentially, she had a victim that she was going to do an interview with, and they basically she brought it up to the news or the board or whatever you bring it up to, and they shut it down and squashed it.
Yeah,
because they're like, who's Jeffrey Epstein? We don't.
Yeah,
this isn't news. We don't want this.
Yeah, completely squished it.
Something happened with like one of the princes from like another country because he was involved in the situation that the victim was going to talk about.
Yeah,
and basically
they pretty much pulled it.
He's scared the news company into making them squash it fully.
Yeah.
So
we need to do a whole Epstein video and a whole support Hong Kong, man. So we're gonna go off on this, guys. We're gonna freaking go off on it. Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
And it's not that I really care that he killed himself or didn't kill himself. It's that I care that somebody's trying to cover up all the dumb shit that he was involved in to save their own skin. That's the only reason I care. I can give a shit what happened to this dude.
I mean, it's the 5th of November, so remember, the 5th of November.
Yeah,
Epstein didn't kill himself. I mean...
I agree, dude. But alright, guys, we're going to sign off. But look, if either of us kill ourselves before next week, we did not kill ourselves.
I mean...
Remember that.
Clearly, we did not.
Yeah. But alright, guys, so this shit's dying.
As a
our computer's being a loser.
As a disclaimer that I know of.
Yes.
Neither of us are into autoerotic asphyxiation.
Not into it.
So if that comes up, and that's how we died, I'm telling you right now, not into it.
He didn't hang himself. I didn't hang myself. Oh, God. Somebody said, so about Ben Askren. Look, dude, my phone's about to die. But about Ben Askren, what are your thoughts?
I don't think he should retire, but he better win his next fight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like him.
It's not looking good for him.
I think John likes him.
I'm okay with him, but he's kind of like a love to hate him type dude.
Yeah.
I just, like the guy off of Step Brothers, I hate his face. I just wish he'd do something with his face.
He better win his next fight. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I love that he got Masvidal, and then Damian Maia choked him out, but whoever he fights next...
Do you feel like Ben's next fight should be for that UFC contract? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I feel like he needs to rematch Lawler. If he wants to prove he's got brass, rematch Robbie Lawler and see what happens when you play it back.
I agree.
That would be a good fight.
I agree.
But alright, man, we're going to have to sign off here. We'll be back next week. We're going to do, hopefully, I'd love to do a whole Hong Kong episode, dude, and a whole Jeffrey Epstein episode. So we'll be back.
We got a lot of research to do.
We do. Guys, y'all be good, stay safe, and Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yes. With saying that, though.
Yes.
Before we go
for it.
It's not that I care whether he lives or dies.
Yeah.
Completely, this guy was a
piece of shit, scum of the earth,
scumbag.
Yes.
It's the fact that we need freaking justice and answers for everything that he was doing.
Yes.
And the fact that this got put under the rug so quickly.
Yes.
Is ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying for sure.
The amount of shit that he knew to put away some of the biggest names in the world, and it's just nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason I care as well.
Justice is not served with that.
No.
Even if he is dead right now, justice is not served because all of those other people are free and still doing the same shit.
Yep.
Anyways.
But we didn't kill ourselves.
No.
Y'all be good. We'll see y'all next week.